Right, round 3, boys. So I've got my 2 blocks bolted together. Got a different dial indicator here, look. And I've swept that in, that's within 2 or 3 lines or whatever that is. I don't know what this gauge is. I'm presuming it's obviously metric. It says 2 UM on it. So does that mean from 0 to 100 is 100th of a millimetre? I don't know. I'm hoping that somebody can tell me, which I'm sure you will do when you see this. You'll be thinking, well, yeah. Right. So we've got that 0 to that. We'll grind this side first. The grinder's warming up, as you can hear. It's been going for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to flash this side up. Once I've done that side, I should be able to unbolt it from the block, shouldn't I, and sit it down on its own and do the other side. Then we'll have a test. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, we'll crack on with that. Right, we're ready to rock and roll, chaps. I have touched off, and I've put just a couple of tenths on this. See where we get to. Where's my Sharpie gone? There's a couple of things I spotted. Not spotted. A couple of things I heard that I said in the video yesterday that weren't very clear. The first one was when I said that the block. This isn't for you experienced guys, so don't laugh at me. This is for anybody like me who's new to this sort of precision kind of work. If I measure from that end to that end and there's a tenth difference, what I said yesterday was that means that there's only half a tenth in it, because you have to go from the middle to each end. So if it was 0 there and 1/10 high there, in the middle it's only going to be half a tenth high in it. So whatever measurement you get from one end to the other, that's not your true measurement of how far out your block is. It's half of it. So if it was 0 there and 5 thou high here, your block's actually only 2.5 thou out along the length of it. That was that. And the other thing that I said yesterday was that, let me get this going, might as well be grinding while I'm talking, isn't it? Was when I had these blocks on originally, I had it at an angle, and I mentioned yesterday that Michael put me right on that. We need to alter the travel. Not really ready for this morning, am I? Right, let's try that. Yeah, what Michael said, I'd put the block on at an angle like that. Now the idea behind that is, if you have a long slender piece of steel, something like this spanner, or a parallel would be a better thing to do. If you're grinding the full length, oh, you're in shot there, can't bloody see. If you was to be grinding the full length of the spanner, that's going to be more likely to get hot because of the amount of time the grinding wheel is in contact with the spanner. However, if you put it on the table like that and you was grinding this way, you're taking the grinding runs are considerably shorter, therefore the grinding wheel is not on there for anywhere near the amount of time, therefore it doesn't get as hot. Here's me like I sound like I know what I'm on about, don't I? So that was that. There was something else I was going to say as well. What did I learn yesterday when I was on this grinder? Ah, yeah. Underneath that block, there's 2 or 3 bad score marks in this table that were done obviously by the previous owner. Or maybe not. Maybe from the original owner, I don't know. But I did notice that when I come to... there we go. When I came to... sorry, I'm putting another cut on. When I came to clear the mag chuck off and then put the block back on again, what I found was, even though I blow it off with the airline and then rub over with my hand, I could feel little bits in those channels, but the airline wasn't actually getting out. So what I do now, I give it a good blow over with the airline, wipe it over with my hands, and then I wouldn't do this every time, but for what I'm trying to do, the accuracy I'm trying to chase, I just give it a quick rub over each time now with one of my stones, the precision stones. Because those little grooves in the plate was giving me a bit of a headache. And there was one other thing. You'll see, let me just bring you back out a little bit. Now, you can see that lever there, can't you, that's going, that orientates the table that way. Well, here is another little lever what sets the speed. Speed's maybe not the right word. It sets the ferocity, let's say, of how quick the x-axis bounces in when it gets to the end of its stroke. Now, yesterday what I found, I'd come across a part like I am doing now across the block, and I decided that when I went back and started again that I was going to come across considerably quicker. Which, if you're doing something that's not all that critical, is fine. But what I found with my machine is, that little lever there that I was just pointing to, the more you have that on, the quicker it bangs, bang, bang, when it gets to the end of its stroke. If you pull the lever back, it's a lot softer, the transition. But I had it going quite quickly. When I came across and sent it back, I actually went across backwards and forwards 4 times and it never stopped sparking out. It was making the machine move that much that the head was dropping. There's something else to bear in mind. Right, we'll carry on and do a bit more and then come back in a minute. Right, I've just tilted the camera down to show you these bits that I'm on about. So I've just re-blued the, put some more Sharpie lines on the block because we've got a clear path now. So I put a couple of tents on. Now you still can't see, can you? Hang on. Right, see on this lever here? I click that, now that's going to start to activate that. It's going to increase the speed a little bit. So, we'll take them out of the way. This lever here is what controls how fierce this goes. You can see at the minute, it's quite soft how it's moving, look. The more I push that lever that way, the more that'll jump and it'll go quite, you know, quite fierce like. That's the mag base off the bottom of an old indicator I had, because that lever is actually loose. So I have that wedged up against it, so when I have it set like it is now, it doesn't start moving about. Yeah, and those 2 blocks there, you slacken the nut off on the top and you either widen them out or bring them in as to how far you want it to travel before it hits the stop and goes the other way. In here on the 540, this is your wide travel. That milled knob there was knackered, I had to make a new one. But you adjust that knob and slide it up and down that slot to alter the amount of travel you get. Nice little machine actually. One other thing I've done this morning differently, I've altered the frame rate on the camera from 24 frames per second to 50. So I'd be interested to see if you boys notice any difference. And if you do, tell me whether it's better or worse. So we're nearly, once we get across this side, that's taking a couple of tenths off. I'm going to send it back on at the same setting. I shall just alter the wide travel again a little bit. And then we'll get back on the surface plate and have a look, see how we do. So we're on the way back now at the same setting, and you can still see it's pulling just a few sparks off the front edge of the stone. I could come back again, but I found that just leave it at that and then we should be okay. So anyway, there we go. So we're straight off the grinder. I haven't even got it unbolted yet. So we'll see if this is going to work. Don't see why it shouldn't, but you never know, do you? As you can hear, I've left the grinder running, because if this has ground this how I'm hoping it is, how I'm hoping it would have done, we should be able to go straight back to the grinder, flip this the other way up, grind the other side in. So, watch your ears, I'm just going to blow this off. Right, move my block over there. I've actually been over this granite plate this morning with my precision stone. Right, so we've got to test it this way on, haven't we? Right, let's have to get this set up and I'll come back. Right, let's see where we get to, shall we? Do this side first. So on my block we were within a couple of tenths. I'm hoping you can see this indicator a little bit better. Well, then again, I'm not really sure what resolution I'm measuring in, am I? Right, we're bouncing back to 0. Fingers crossed, boys. Yeah. Right. So that's saying plus 20 that side. I'm not saying plus... Oh, are we going to have this same trouble? You know what one of my next little projects is going to be, don't you chaps? I'm going to make myself a comparator stand. I think maybe the front wheel of the is nearly touching. Right. Let me have a think about this, see what I can do. So I've got a parallel between the bottom of the block and the front of the scribbling block. Let's see if that's going to help us any. Suppose that bringing in another you can see it. I'm struggling, can't you? Right, we're getting 0 there. I think what we might do is go and get the other gauge back in. That's plus 2. Right, I'm going to get the 10th gauge and see if that's going to do any better. Where have I put it? Yeah, comparator stand I think would be a good project to do. I saw Stefan Gottesvinter made a really nice one. Now whether I'm going to go to that sort of level of expertise is another thing. Bend that down a bit. Right. Try this, shall we? Oh, by the way, Dave in Australia, I'm sorry I haven't replied to your emails, mate. I haven't checked the email account for my channel for a while, so I only noticed them this morning and I've not had a chance to read them yet. we're going to struggle like hell here, aren't we? I know we're not that far out. That's constantly giving us a thou. Oh, maybe we could be. Maybe the weight of this block hanging on that one is pulling it over. I think maybe it's time for a cup of tea and a rethink. I'm getting constantly plus 1/10 on that side. There you go. Different again, look now. It can't really be anything other than correct though, should it? Because we know that other block is, well, as far as I can feel, that block is sticking to the table. -2. +1. Oh God. My block's sticking. Right. I'm going to put some more cleaner on the table first, and we'll clean it down and have another go. Okay chaps, right, I think we're going to have to call it a day. I'm really struggling to get proper measurements off this because I've got that parallel there, look, butted up against there, and I'm trying to put that against there because I'm trying to measure at such tight tolerances. I'm really struggling. This scribbling block, when it came to me, I bought it off eBay a few years ago. This part of it, in fact, hang on, I'll show you. Where's all the bits? Right, so that there, you see that? That's the original part that would have been in there. And this is how it was when it came. I've actually glued that just to keep it in the box. Even the top piece is all smashed off, look. So I made that, and I think my problem is I've got too many variables in there and I can't get a consistent measurement, so I'll have to think of what else we're going to do. I'll either have to buy something straight away to carry on with the measuring, which I don't think I'm going to do, or I'll make a comparator stand, and I think maybe that's the way to go. So, right, well, stay tuned, we'll see what happens. See you later.